We had to wait. You look good. You look real good. I'm cool to wait on that. I'm cool.
Listen, I had to let me turn on the mic here. Hold it now. Can you hear me? I should have did a mic check first.
I can hear you.
That ain't plugged in. Okay. Are we? Let me go log into YouTube. What is this? That. Okay, we rolling. We cooking with hot corn grease. Not
Cooking
hot corn
with grease. Okay.
Cooking with grease. I said hot corn grease. Don't ask me where I got that from. But first, I gotta do some stuff. Wait a minute.
Okay.
So are we on YouTube? We not on YouTube? Let's say, oh, we rolling, base. Okay, let me turn that down because what we're going to do is get the feedback. All right, so this is what they normally do. They tell you to like and share and subscribe because we getting ready to. Isn't that what they do? Listen.
Yes.
So here's a fun fact while we wait for people to come in. Okay. I have to take a shower, brush my teeth. I do, and all I'm doing is coming on a video. However, I was taught, before you go out, while you talking to people, you got to make sure your breath is good. And of course, when you are clean, you feel clean. It just does something to you, right?
Feel rejuvenated.
And yeah, so kids and folks laugh at me because they're like, the people can't touch you. Yes, they can. They can touch you. Hi, Amy Q. I'm not sure.
Amy Q, that's my coworker.
Oh, hey, Amy Q. Well, you got a shout out from Brianna. So do us a favor. This is going to be an amazing show. Let's see. Should I quit?
Amy Q RN. She trained me.
Sorry. So, Amy, won't you do us a favor and like what they say, like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I'm probably only going to say that about once or twice because what we ain't going to do is spend our time talking about likes, share, and subscribe. I need to make sure the computer is, and make sure we in the wrong thing. We would have been cut off in a minute. So we definitely don't plan on being here long. But I guarantee you it's going to be impactful enough that you like, tell me more, say more, talk about more. Mm-hmm. We testing some things out. So for all y'all judgy people, what like why they wasn't on time. Listen, and I'm in a season of my life that I am free to be me. And so this is how we doing it. I am not in I am not in a space of stress, struggle, strain, and survival. And let me say something, that is not to be not to look down on anyone who's experiencing that, but I'm praying that tonight you hear something that liberates you in a way to get out of that. Like I lived in that space for years, and baby, there is nothing admirable about that, especially for us African American women. Somebody told us we had to be chief, multitaskers. And, we have to be all things to all people. Listen, that is exhausting. Mm-hmm. The cape has been retired because I want to live. Like I decided I want to live. I wanted to be in a space of living, and thriving. And so I am while I am considerate of your time, and thank you for those who hung around and waited for us. I'm just not bound by it no more. I used to be. And now it's like, come on, Jesus, whoever's here is going to be here. So we're just going to give a couple more minutes because this was a part of our scheduled presentation anyway, was to give people an opportunity to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to comment. Thank you,
And
Amy.
I think my mama might be in here. I
Oh,
hope she is. But shout out to my mama. Her 50th birthday was yesterday. And we had an amazing time. I just gotta make sure if she on here to say happy birthday again. I love you. Just had to put that, just had to plug that in there. Shameless plug. While we on live.
It's okay. That's all. That's amazing. But your screen, I don't know what's happening. It looks like it is pixelated.
My screen?
Yeah. Let me see if there's anything I can do here.
Yours looks. Hold on. Let me see. It looked fine to me.
Just on rock. I don't know why the screen doesn't seem crisper or clearer.
Yeah, yours looks a little
Pixelated too.
A little blurry. But I don't know if it's my computer. But I feel like mine's does look a little. Oh, it's Heather says might be my MacBook camera.
But then, what would be the answer to why mine's is like?
What kind of computer are you on? Are you using a camera or are you using your computer?
I'm using my computer. Okay. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's big announcement. Oh, you know what? I gotta do one more thing.
Oh, somebody put happy birthday. Oh, that's so sweet.
So sweet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see. Yep. You're right. Because somebody just sent me a picture of my camera on the live, and it do look pixelated. You're absolutely right. Look at Amy. Hi, Amy. She's still on
there. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So good evening, everyone, and welcome to Terry Talks Official. We thank God for another day. We thank God for another opportunity to glorify Him and to help Him do what He does in this earth. Because just a PSA for those of us who are believers, we are His eyes, His hands, His ears, His feet in the earth. And so, some people say they waiting on God, but God might be waiting on you. I'm sorry. And so, as long as He empowers you and He's empowering me, we're it. His spirit is living on the inside of us. And so we get to show up in that manner. We wanted to come on and just share a big announcement that we have. And, the reason why we want to do that is because, we understand where people are in their lives personally and financially. Right now, some people are, just really, really struggling to make ends meet. Some folks are, headed out on vacation for Labor Day, but, they're en route, they're counting bills and what they didn't pay or what card they're going to use so that the other card don't come back denied, and then kind of putting off a little bit until Monday, where they may end up having buyer's remorse. And this could be, we know right now, it could be working class people. It doesn't mean that you are super poor monetarily, but just in general with the state of our economy and things that are happening and things that have happened. Some people still haven't recuperated from the pandemic. And so that buyer's remorse story is a real story. I had it, about 15 years ago. And so I can speak to that. And I have folks around me who I know are struggling. But here is what I know. You don't have to struggle. There are so many opportunities and options to bring in more for you and your family. And so, we believe that we all are created for more. We're not created, as I said at the top of this live, that we're not created for struggle, strain, stress, and survival. We're created for to live, be, and thrive. We're created for more time, more relationships, more money, right? Because the Bible says money answers all things. Some believers, and I'm just gonna put a plug here, they get it a little twisted when they say money is the root of all evil. No, that's not what the good word says. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. And when we are serving money, that is the root of evil. But let me give you something to think about. When you go to work because you have to go to work, are you serving money? Things that make you go. Right? Oh yeah.
Okay.
But there's a text that say money answers all things because so I'm told that they cannot hear us. Can you check with folks? Can you guys put in the comments if you can hear us? Can you hear us?
My mama says she can hear us.
She can hear us? Okay. I'm sorry. Someone messaged and said that they could not hear us. Can she hear me? Can she hear you loud and clear?
I'm doing a double check now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Double check.
yeah. They can hear us. They can hear us.
Okay, cool deal. Well, can you guys do me a favor and like the channel so that we know you can hear us? And then let us know in the comments where you are viewing from. Okay. So
RVA, stand up. RVA said I got my people with me. Okay, stand up.
Okay. Well, wait a minute. I'm gonna need Northside to stand up if y'all in the building. I get some North Philly folks to let me know you here. What y'all ain't gonna do is outdo us. I don't care. I'm new to Virginia, but I'm Philly all day long, baby.
I can't even see the chat. I can't see the chat. I'm just dependent. I'm on straight faith right now. RV 804, put some 804s in the chat for me, please.
215 folks. Yeah, I might be from, now, but it's not where you at, is where you from. I did the inverse of that. But
okay.
Anyway, so back to what I was saying, and so we want to get us into a position where we don't have to serve money, right? We don't have to trade time for money. I told you, I believe that God has called us all to a life of more time, right? And so it's been important for me to do whatever I can to help folks buy back their time. The Bible says that God will redeem the time, but just as anything else, there are some things that we have to do in order to ensure that happens. And so Brianna and I are here tonight because we want to invite you on a journey to help you move from, barely enough to more than enough. Right. And let's say you're an investor. We're both real estate investors and we have properties, right? I'm, in the 30s. Where she is, right? But even for me, that's still not enough, right?
Yeah.
Because of the mission and the vision that God has called me to, the life of service that He calls me to. And so one of my missions is to give folks, that look like me, an opportunity and a pathway to home ownership. And sometimes that has to come through a lease to own option, or at least as an investor, we've set up a lease to own option. And so we need to have the parcels to be able to source that. There are a lot of women and girls who are victims of domestic violence, who have been pushed out of their homes, or women who stay in the situations that they're in because the biggest thing is housing and finances. They have not been financially dependent and their housing secure, meaning the person, and I said women, but let's be clear, there are some men who are who are victims of domestic violence, and one party has more control over all of the things than the other party. And so, that one party who's the victim is unable to survive on their own. And so, part of the work that we do is provide them an out for that. Because again, I don't think anyone should live a life that is victim ridden, right? And so tonight, we want to, talk about just or introduce you. And again, even if you like, I can pay all my bills, even if you're like, okay, I can pay all my bills, I live where I want to, that's great. But if you have children, what position will your children be in, right? One of the other things that we want to do is avoid our children starting from ground zero, where the next generation has to keep starting over, but what would it be like if you could, fund your children's education straight out, right? That your children, when I went to college, I had to go as an independent student because my parents could not afford to send me to college, right? And so what happened? I ended up coming out in debt, right? So that meant, depending on the job expectancy, if the job expectancy is not high, whatever field that they select, and they have this mounting debt, and let's not forget, they're giving them credit cards at 21, knowing that they're not responsible. Now they're starting out with debt. But what if you could put your children, you could put your nieces and nephews in a position that they don't have to start from ground zero? Yeah, you got a cozy life, and that's cool, and you should be, right? But what about the people around you? Are you able to pay somebody else's bills if it came down to it? Or are you paying out of what you don't have? Because that was me, y'all. I was the most liberal giver. I don't even know if liberal is a word, but I was the most liberal giver with what I didn't have. Now, how crazy is that, right? And so by the time my check came, my check was gone before I got it because I had already spent it, right? Well, that's we don't. That's not the way we want to live. That's not the most healthy way to live. And here's a truth: we don't have to live like that. What our parents went through, and what they experienced, and some of the things that they did not have access to, that is not our story, right? And we need to know when it's not our story. And so we want to invite you. There's I said free, a free masterclass that's happening on the 3rd of September. And we're going to walk you through how to develop multiple streams of income, how to make sure that you're in a healthy position. Again, as I mentioned, with this political climate we're in, it's not a matter of if something is going to happen again, it's when. To make sure that you have more than enough. You'll get to a place where, here's the real flex, y'all. You should be able to have a income stream for every liability you have. So if you have college tuition, you should have an income producing asset to pay for that. If you have a car note, which we'll get into that, right? Because we don't want to be paying for stuff over and over and over again. We want to be able to pay, because let's be clear, we can get these cars, but the interest rate is so high. By the time you're done, you done paid for the car 3 times over. But we're going to help you get your credit score up. We're going to help you not only get your personal credit up, but your business credit up. So then you're doing more stuff in a business name than you're doing in your personal name, because you want to be insulated from liability and legality, right? We live in a sue happy world. And so it's important that you have asset protection. And so we want to be able to put you in a position to do that. I'm a big proponent of, you don't show up trying to get ready. So an emergency happened, then that's when everybody is like trying to figure it out. No, we show up to the emergency ready. So we're not on defense. We're always on offense, and we're living. I'm gonna share this story, and then I'm gonna pause, and then we'll let Brianna take the show. But I was, many of you know, I'm a former law enforcement officer, and I decided that I needed to retire. And I needed to retire because my mental health and emotional health was on the decline. Because up until that point, I kept building on top of trauma. I kept trying to pivot without healing. And how many know, when you have some stuff that need to be resolved, you staying busy don't make it go away. You're staying at work don't make it go away. Drowning ourselves sometimes in non-healthy things don't make the effect of the thing go away, right? And so, I needed to stop. And thank God that I had a plan leading up to that, where I saved, I invested, leveraged my insurance policies. That's what we're going to talk about on Tuesday. You sitting on money and don't even know the money is there. I started building so that when that time came, I could exit on my own terms, not missing a limb, because police work is dangerous, right? But I was able to exit stage right, not missing a limb, still with my right mind and spirit. Not addicted to anything, praise God, right? But I was able to do that because I set a plan in motion, added my prayer to it and my faith, and I activated the plan. And so we want to help you get there, that you can retire on your own terms. I say this all the time. Who said we had to wait to retirement age? And at the rate the government going, that age, that number keeps moving, right? It keeps going up. And then them jokers acting like they don't want to fund Social Security. It's like, and so we don't want to leave the chance that's going to be. We have to, and we can position ourselves to make more money, save more money, invest more money, and understand money being a tool to make more, and then we can do more. Some people are in a position of, housing. They're in a neighborhood they don't want to be in because they don't have enough. Well, we want to change that, right? When I mentioned this political climate, they're talking about getting rid of public schools. Like, what the heck? So what happens if you're forced to have to pay for your kids' education and you're not ready? We ain't leaving it to chance. What if you need to take off? Like for me, I wanted to vacation. I couldn't because seniority was an issue. How many first responders have that issue? Like, you may want a vacation, but you can't because somebody got more time on than you. The devil is a liar, right? There was times that I wanted to maybe not go into work, but there's so much riding on me not to go, where I feel bad not going. Yeah, no, I sleep now until I'm done sleeping. Rihanna may know this. I get up and don't work until 12. Like, there was some things I set in motion. I was going vacation once a month, right? And you can do that when you're a place of financial and personal, a position of personal and financial power, right? And so we want to help you get there. The link is in the chat, so that you can tap into. It's a free class, y'all. There is no reason. And if you don't need it, if you don't need to see more income coming into your house, send it to somebody who you know does need it. Now, our audience, Brianna, here in the studio is 7. Are those same folks over on the YouTube channel? If they aren't, ask them to also get on the YouTube channel so that we can share this out and more people can be blessed as a result of what we will be sharing today. So, Brianna, tell us a little bit about you. I didn't tell the folks about me. For those who don't know, and I'm gonna make this really short and sweet, I am Terry. I am a minister, a wife, a mom, a daughter, I am a friend. I think I'm an amazing friend. I am all things real estate right now. I was part-time when I was working at the police department. I am now a full-time investor, educator, developer. Yes, I am a licensed general contractor, because who said women cannot build houses, right? Now, I don't know this technology stuff, but I know how to build a house, right? And so that's me. That's me today. Brianna, and this is my lovely guest, Brianna. She is upcoming rising star in the space of real estate investing. And one thing I love about her so far is that there's no time like the present for her. There's nothing that I have not suggested for her to do, but in her commitment to build legacy and to build generational wealth, she like, all right, coach, put me in. What do you need me to do? And, there's a saying that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And so here's a little nugget. If you out there and you wondering why you can't get a mentor, or if why no one is coming alongside of you to help you, could it be that you're not ready yet? What gets you ready is not money, is mindset. It's the movement that you have. And it is your commitment, your persistent commitment to have what you desire, and don't stop until you get what it is you believe in God for. That, for me, it lets me know that somebody is ready. So without further ado, Brianna, tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to go into the next segment. And I promise you all, we're going to be out of here in about 15 minutes.
Well, I don't know how I'm going to follow that up, but I'm going to try. So, as you all know, my name is Brianna Moore, or as some of y'all know. I am just so happy to be here. I'll get to how Terry and I met in a bit, but yeah, she's correct. I am a real estate investor. I don't have 30 properties. I just did one. Not yet. Not yet. I have 3, which is my primary residence that I'm house hacking. I have a second one that's a condo that's rented with a tenant in it, and I just did my first flip in June. So I was able to use the money from that flip in order to basically, I say, retire myself from nursing full time. I do still work at the hospital once or twice a month. But yeah, real estate investor, serial entrepreneur. I made money as a travel nurse, which helped me to invest in the real estate, and also blessed me to be able to invest in a business. So as some of you know, I am one of the owners of the Any Lab Test Now in at the Glen Allen location, where we're able to run any blood test that you need without a doctor's order. Why that is important is because some doctors write off symptoms of clients, and then things get overlooked. So we are that missing piece in healthcare that can kind of help with that. I also have a podcast, which Miss Terry was on recently, that will be dropping tomorrow if you guys want more of a full scope of who this amazing human being is. And we sat down, we talked. She was actually doing a panel at a real estate conference probably about an hour before she came to my podcast studio, which is important to note because I don't know if you guys know, but I'm in Richmond and Terry is in North Philly. So she came down to North Philly to speak at this conference. She'd been driving all day. I think she's staying at Virginia Beach, but still, yeah, she's staying at a nice hotel in Virginia Beach. I'm gonna just put that out there. Came down to speak at the event, and then I'm sure she was tired from asking questions, but she ended up coming to do my podcast right after and poured so much life into myself and then our studio audience that we had present. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. And I know we're gonna get to it, but I just want to note too, one of the first questions that you asked me was, how many streams of income do I have? And this was upon first meeting you. We met through a mutual contact. Shout out to Mr. Don, who's a hard money lender here in Richmond, Virginia, who just saw something in me and decided to connect me with Terry through email. And I didn't know what to expect from the email, but it has blossomed into a type of very intentional partnership. Well, I am definitely the player and she is the coach in this type of partnership. And after she asked me the question of how many streams of income do I have? She took it a step further and said, well, let's add more. And that's when she came in with a few ideas that I could that I was doing already as far as content creation, digital video creation, things like that, in order to boost up my streams of income while also using something that I already have, tools that I already have, in order to make money to help boost people's brands, like hers and like mine. So I think we'll get into it a little bit, but so basically the thing is I have a client now, which is which is crazy because it is Terry who is, as she said, she's a general contractor. She's putting on this summit in North Philly, and the fact that somebody like that has seen something in me that came out of nowhere, like it's literally I don't know, it's God, like it's divine. I don't know what else to say.
It's definitely God, right? But
Yeah.
I gotta correct a few records because I don't want these people to think that
Uh-oh.
it's all about the Benjamins, right? So the
Okay.
reason why I asked her how many streams of income does she have? Because as a real estate investor,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things can go wrong. And
Mm.
what a lot of newbies do is they don't prioritize liquidity. They don't prioritize cash flow, right? And here, let me give you an example so I can qualify this answer because that sounds like, well, dang, lady. Now, if she came to
No,
me
no, no.
saying
I
that
was
she was
saying it
ordering a saying,
all positive light,
I
because
know,
I
but
didn't
then
know. I didn't know
I
how many
know, but
streams of
they
income I
don't.
had.
I listen, I ain't mad at you. I just want to make sure my
I
audience
got you.
know or our audience know what it's hitting for, right? And and it might be some investors out there or business owners that, this should resonate, this should hit. Now she would have came to me and was introduced as a garden hoser or landscaper. No, I still would have said the same thing, right? Because here's the thing, y'all. I'm not a trust fund baby. I don't come from money. I don't come from a business background. She keeps referencing North Philly. I don't live there no more. Haven't lived there since I was about 18. But I still rep because it's not from is where you at or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, and there are great things that come out of the heart of North Philadelphia. Let's talk about Dawn Staley. Let's talk about Julius Irvin. We can run it down. But what I do know is that I was poor. I was like poor. I mean, we were so poor we didn't even know we was poor. And then when I started making some money, because I didn't know that I was poor, I was still poor making money because it's poverty also involves a mentality, right? That's a whole another conversation for another day. And so I know what it is not that to have, and I know what it is to hit rock bottom. I was homeless at the age of 15. I was an adjudicated youth at the age of 13. And one of the things when the Lord saved me at a young age, I felt like it was a pivotal time in my life, and I promised I was going to make it count. And so the first thing He allowed me to do was buy a home. I didn't know how to manage a home because I didn't come from there, right? And so, but one thing I did know was nobody was going to ever be able to put me out another house. So I maintained the home, but my water was off. Um, some days didn't have electric because I didn't understand how to manage money. I didn't understand how to manage a home. And so then I got with my coach back in 2007, 2006, 2007, because I was having a lot of money come through my hands. But as quickly as I was having it come through my hands, it was going back out. And some life situations happened, and I did not have an answer to it, although I was working. Come on, y'all. I mean, you may have been there, done that. You're working and you still can't address life's emergencies sometimes. And so I said, listen, it's a campaign slogan right now, but that's how I feel. I'm not going back, right? And so everyone that I come in contact, particularly investors, because anything can go wrong, i.e. COVID. You can start a project and say you got hard money, say the hard money got some terms where they call the loan. How you gonna pay that loan back if you don't have liquidity? In real estate investing, there's a term called the Burr method, where you end up, it's a part of the buy and hold method. But there should be a time where you don't refinance, because what if you can't refinance? What if the interest rates, which we just saw, are too high and you can't refinance? Do you refinance and pay, almost 15, 20,000 over and lose any profits, which what's the point in investing? Or you use your liquid cash, get out of that hard money so you're not accruing interest, and you live another day, right? So it's important. Or let's go take it another step. You could be a landlord, and your tenants start acting wonky, right? You got a mortgage on that property. Where does the money come from? How do you pay that if there's no rent coming in? So, because I know that this is a thing, because that's how I started out, and no one told me. I had little to no support around this in this space, and so a lot of things I had to stumble into. And so I've just made it a point that no one who comes into my space, and the Lord won't even allow me to not educate them. So that's why the hard question was, how many streams of income you got, right? And because one is too close to none, that is a writer downer. One income is too close to no income. And so we ain't playing like that. And so I wanted to correct a few of those. But once she told me that what she had going on, I'm like, all right, we got to increase that. And within less than a week, it hasn't even been a week, she got a client. She's going to talk about her projected revenue. She's going to talk about her new business, because this is how we do it. This is how we do it, right? I don't know who sings that. Who song is that? I don't know. I should know, because that's from my time, my era. But you know, and what we're going to show you at the master class, because we're aiming at, we should be. And if you haven't thought about it, you want to get into a place of thinking about financial freedom and independence. You want to get, in case your job get to acting up, your livelihood is not contingent on that employer, right? You want to get to the place of passive and residual income, meaning you're not trading time for money, or have to go to work for a check, right? You have income that's making money for you, whether you're working or not. You want to have residual income. You want to have income that's constantly coming in. And you want to be able to build generational wealth. As I already mentioned, some of those things. And if you're a believer, the Bible says we want to leave a good man or woman, leaves an inheritance to his children's children, right? And so nothing just happens. We have to make it happen. And we have the gifts and talents to do it. So, how did we come up with this additional stream of income for Brianna? This is the method that I use every time it's time to generate a new income. And how do I generate another source? What triggers me generating another source of income? If I increase in liabilities, I just started playing golf again. Golf costs money. It's expensive. But it does my heart, my mind, my body, and my soul good. So I'm going to do it. All right. So then, do I pull from any existing funds? Heck no. I create another source of income so that it can pay for my golf habits, right? And how do I do that? What is the template that I use? My favorite book, and it's the story about a widow woman. Her husband had died. She was, her and her sons left. The prophet came across her doorstep, and she told him, if I don't pay the creditors, they're going to kill me and my sons. And so his question was, what do you want me to do? Basically. But he asked her, what do you have in your house? What is in your house? And she said, oh, nothing but some oil. And he said, okay, go get, you and your sons, go get some jars, go and borrow from the neighbors. Now, this is how far back credit and borrowing and savings was a thing. He told her, get the jars that you have. She had a couple in her house, but then he told her to go to her neighbors and borrow some more jars, you and your sons. Let me put a note there. Nobody is going to rescue us. It is our responsibility to rescue us, right? It is our response, not the government responsibility. You know, there's this thing that sometimes we know family members or friends that have money, and for some reason, there's an expectation that they should help us. You know, I learned this earlier on. Anything anybody does for you is extra. We're not relying. Nobody has to do anything. If anybody is doing anything for us, they're doing it out of the kindness of their heart, right? So he told her, you and your sons. So this was a family affair to go and get these jars filled up. The short story is, read it when you can. It's 2 Kings chapter 17. They fill up these jars, right? And what he told her is, now go pay off your debt, because the Bible says that we are to owe no man but to love them. And if you think about it, it's kind of hard to love people at the capacity we should love them if we owe them. You know, been there and done that. You know, you go somebody, you ducking them, you see they call. Listen, I've had people get mad about me calling about the money they owe me. Like, right? Listen, y'all know I ain't lying. If I ain't lying, put a fire emoji in the comment where somebody owes you money and you calling them about your money and they mad, right? Because it's hard. It's a challenge. We are human beings. I mean, guilt, shame, condemnation, arrogance, all kinds of things come into play. And that's not a growth mindset. That's not a healthy mindset. A growth mindset is not a healthy mindset, right? But he said, go now, don't keep this money, because she made a bunch of money. And here's how I'm going to tell you how I know it. The Bible doesn't tell us exactly how much she made, but it tells us that she went and paid off her creditors and lived off the rest. Now, her children were young. So if they were able to live off the rest, that means they never had to work again. They never had to do anything again, because they made enough money just based on what was in her house. The oil that she had. What oil do you have, right? The jars that were in her house. The soft skills that she had of, putting her fingers to the plow. So she was proactive by doing what the man of God told her to do. And she was able to start a business, an oil business. I love it, right? And so my question to Brianna is, what's in your house? Or more simpler, what is in your wheelhouse? Right? And so she told me a little bit about what was in her wheelhouse. And I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. You know, I didn't ask her if she wanted to do it or not, right? Because some people like me, I was a hard nut to crack, y'all. And so I needed somebody to crack the whip a little bit, and not allow me to sit in my own stuckness, right? And so we got her moving, and this was just, I think, Saturday or Sunday, maybe it was like Friday, I think, or one of those days. And just like that, she has a whole business model. What are your projected revenues right now?
Well, as far as content creation goes, it's pretty broad. On the low end, it'll bring in about $20,000 per year. On the high end, it could be six figures up to 100,000, and that includes affiliate marketing, merchandising, digital projects, consulting and speaking engagements, sponsored content, all of that stuff. So all of those things can branch off of this one stream of income, because if I'm creating videos for you, and like you said, you wanted me to intentionally plug my services in your videos for your audience to see, and I believe you have about 3,000 followers on Instagram. maybe a little more than that. So when those videos go up on Instagram and Facebook, your audience is able to see that I am the one who created the video, and then they're able to reach out to me. But yeah, you definitely cracked the whip, because I'm not. Me and you are kind of the same in that we kind of just do stuff. You're more. You can do that because you have a team in place to handle all of the other things. But with me, it's just me. So, yeah, I don't know if I would have necessarily taken on this
I ain't
task
gonna
if
let you.
you wouldn't have gave me a deadline.
Okay. All right, cool. But what I ain't going to let you do, there's a gnat, y'all. What I'm not going to do is let you off the hook. It doesn't matter if I have a team or not, right? And I think those numbers are low. But the
Yeah.
bottom line is what I projected, she can easily bring in an extra $10,000 a month.
Mm.
How many of y'all could use an extra $10,000 a month?
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, it was in her own wheelhouse. There's not a whole lot she had to expend, if any. I don't know, did you put any money out yet?
No.
I mean, like, no, right?
Mm.
And so, there's a whole list of, of streams and types of income, examples of ways you can generate additional revenue and income that is lasting, y'all. I mean, that you can pass down to your family, as it could be the family business. We have a couple family businesses, and that's how Heinz been around forever, but you can create a system and your own personal banking system. And we're going to show you how to do that, or tell you a little bit more about that on Tuesday. So I believe the link is in the chat. You don't want to miss the free masterclass. You don't want to miss that opportunity to generate more revenue so that you can do more. As I mentioned, we should not be barely enough. We should have more than enough. We should not have just one stream of income, because one is too close to none. And the political and economic climates that we're in, and particularly, it could get real tight for minorities. Let's just keep it a whole beam. And so, we want to ready ourselves, not just for today, but for tomorrow and for generations to come. And so, if you started this year off talking about more in 2024, but you haven't realized it, the Lord is giving you one more opportunity to go into Q4 so you can show up in the next year ahead of the game. So you don't want to miss out. And if you know somebody, because when we show you this on Tuesday, I'm telling you, can I denounce the gnat? Can I call the gnat the enemy of the state? What's happening?
Not denounce the net.
It's being a little bit disrespectful.
Yeah, they
But
definitely disrespect.
you don't want to miss it. You want to be able to live a life of freedom and liberty, and and be able to buy your time back and do more with family, or help be more liberal. If you want to do more with your church, if you want to do more benevolent stuff, if you want to be your own lender, that's the next thing that I'm going to teach her, is how to be her own banker, so that we're not dependent on credit. We use credit as leverage to make more. Come on Tuesday, let me show you that. Where we're not looking at hard money, and that's the only way we can get into a deal. Now, that might be your story when you start in, but you can flip that switch, right? Because we may use it to start, but we do something different when it's time to scale, right? And we're putting ourselves in a position to do that. I don't give out, no more cakes and stuff for birthday parties. The Lord has positioned me to give assets to my kids. I want to give them things that is going to cause them to make more, so that, they won't just have a birthday cake. They can have cakes if they want to. Don't that sound good, y'all? That's the kind of God we serve. There's the scripture I love, and it says, open yourself up wide. If you're living small, it's not because your life is small, it's because we're living it in a small way. But not after Tuesday. You're going to be in the room, and you're going to be able to say, I'm living my life I'm living my life like it's golden, living it like it's golden. We have a few questions. We're going to answer these questions and we're going to get on out of here. So if you have any questions, let's put them in the chat. In the meantime, Rihanna, I think we have some questions that I would love for you to answer.
Oh, okay.
At least one. How about
Got it. Got it.
Okay. So what are the questions? And you take the one that you want to answer, and then you can punt the rest to me.
Okay. That sounds good to me. Let's see what we got. I think I'm looking at the chat now.
Okay.
All right. What is a healthy amount of income streams? Well, they say 7. They say you got to have 7 streams of income in order to be financially free. So, I mean, that's just the basic. Oh, you can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, 7 streams of income is what I've heard in the books that I've read, and a lot of these streams of income can be bounced off of each other. So, like, if you have, like, I'm sure Terry, like Miss Terry she has real estate business, but I'm sure she also has a property management company, and then I'm sure she has a nonprofit business that she has, and then the construction company, and all of these other things that kind of, so it's the same business, but you have different streams of income that come off of it, which is what I'm aspiring to be. Me, I don't have 7. I probably have about, I have the lab right now. I have my job, which I'm still doing nursing work once a month. Now I have the digital creation with my first client, who is Miss Terry, and the podcast, which is in the process of getting monetized now. So I'm not up there yet, but yeah, I'm gonna punt it to you. What you got?
Oh no, I think you answered it. I'm trying not to. I want you to do your thing. So
Okay.
while you got one client, you're gonna have multiple clients. And here's the
Hey,
thing,
claim it.
the way I look at it, and I hope everybody else look at it, by one man's sin, it caused the earth to be sinful. One man came and caused deliverance. It only takes one word sometimes. All it takes is one avenue that can, to your point, unfold or morph into more. But you could get one client and they could do the darn, they could be a reoccurring client
Mm-hmm.
with a big audience, right? Or a big business, and set your whole financial trajectory in a different way. So no, you answered it. I'm gonna say 7 minimally. And as she mentioned, for me, within one stream of income, I have 7 streams of income. But then I have income streams outside of that, right? Um, you know, and again, I'm going to say it's also based on what are your financial goals. That's what we're going to hit that on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't even have financial goals. They haven't wrapped themselves around it because everything is up to the dollar, right? But you still can forecast, get some goals. What do you want to see happen? And let me give you a starter. If you're like, I don't know how to set goals, start with some these 5 areas so that you can be whole in your life. I did add 2 though. Your focus. How much do you need, or would you need, to help you get more focus? Meaning, what are some things that you need to do, and what are the costs of those that can aid you in being focused? Your faith. How much, what goal financial goal do you have around your faith? It could be you want to help your church grow globally, right? Or go global. You want to be able to, have your name or your family's name on the church kitchen because you donated an industrial kitchen to serve the homeless, right? To serve food. That's another way to have legacy, and your family's name up on the soup kitchen, outside of the soup kitchen's door. Look at your finances. You know, we talked about, you know, retirement and businesses. How much do you want those businesses to make based on your lifestyle? You know, when we talk about retirement and what number you should have, the way we plan is at least 6 years of income. 6 years of income. That includes all of the other things that you want to do. Save, you want to, you know, go to the movies once a week, whatever it is, you do. You plan for that. You plan, because again, nothing just happens. We want to plan for what it is that we want to see. Your fitness. You and I know, you know, now there are some in-home things that you can do, but that's the difference between you waking up and turning back over versus getting a personal trainer or eating different, right? Or buying healthier foods, you know, and I found out that I had fibroids some years ago because it wasn't talked about in my community. And thank God that's different than thyroids, but I had fibroids. And one of the things my OB said was, you know, stop eating regular chicken, you know, go to organic chicken because of the steroids that are in the other chicken. Now, there's a big difference between organic chicken and I'm calling it regular chicken. I might be calling something else. I don't even know what you call it. What if I couldn't afford that? So did that mean I ran a risk? Because I wasn't going to stop eating chicken. If you from the hood where I'm from, chicken is on the menu, right? So I had to pick and choose, right? Do I stop eating chicken, something that I love, something that I love to bust it up with my family and friends around, you know, having, or was I going to be able to buy the quality meat that I needed to ensure that there was no extra growth in my body? Something had to source that. And let me put a plug here. Our jobs, all right, come in close down there. I'm a little, I play a lot. So this is, you know, what it is. So come in a little closer. Let me tell you a secret. Your 9 to 5 was not designed to make you rich or wealthy. It's not designed to do that. It barely meets the cost of living thresholds from year to year. That's a whole nother conversation. We'll talk about it later. So, you know, you need to set some goals, and we want to help you be able to do that. And that's all I gotta say about that. So back to what I was trying to say about this is custom, you know, this is an individualized, you know, plan. It's not a cookie cutter, but the bottom line is you see the need and the necessity to have more than one stream of income. Amen. Okay, what's our next question? And then you're going to answer it solo dolo.
Ooh, solo dolo. Okay. Let's see. All right.
What you got? What you got, Bree?
Oh, you want me to ask a question?
Yeah, I thought we had 3 questions, but what we ain't gonna do is sit here and act like we don't know what we're doing.
Oh, I thought somebody was asking a question.
Wait a minute. I only saw 1 question in the chat.
Oh, I got you. Okay, we got 2 now. Okay. Miss J Kitchen. If you're a small business owner, oh, okay. She said if you're a small business owner, a crucial part of profitability is being able to get your brand out there. Okay, yep. So that was a comment to that was to your point. Heather Allen, thank you for joining. What can someone do immediately to start seeing more money in their pockets? Okay. Well, I'm gonna take a page out of your book, Miss Terry, because this may have been touched on a while ago in a different conversation, but I believe you said that people should stop eating out as much and stop going to Chipotle and McDonald's and Burger King and Wendy's because they can cook at home and that will significantly start to get more money in your pockets. I would say get a side hustle. I know you don't necessarily like all of the side hustles, but that's a stream of income that I would recommend. Like if you need some extra money, go ahead, sign up for DoorDash, Uber Eats, Instacart, something like that, and you can get a quick buck for something. But that's also, you have to be disciplined enough to know like how much you need. You have to know that this type of stream of income may put miles on your car. It puts you in more risk of things going wrong with your car. You have to be on the road a little more away from your family. So those are the cons of things like that. But yeah, there are a lot of there are a lot of things to do. I had a podcast with a guy the other day. He told me that he wrote a book on Amazon and and like sold it, and now he's living in like Cali or something because he doesn't have to work. So there's a ton of things like I'm sure there's a ton of things that you can do that I just don't even know about. But I feel like if you seek, like what you seek, you'll find. And even if if it's something that you, like you say, you already have in your wheelhouse, like my mom, I think she's still on here. She loves to make cakes. And she's really good at it. Like people request the cakes from her. If she wanted to, she could charge for it. So something that you already do for fun, you could put that in place. So you go ahead.
Yeah, so one, that goes back to what is in your house, and we're going to talk about that. Two, it's not that I don't like side hustle. I don't like the word side hustle. Remember, we talked about some words are so limiting, right? So we want to move to building businesses, because business is an asset class, and the tax code, the IRS, is designed for business owners and real estate investors. You can go check it out, right? There are a lot of codes that we get to take advantage of. And what's the importance of that? That means it reduces our exposure, our tax exposure, right? It reduces the amount of taxes that we have to pay, right? But if you go and you just get a hustle, right, then what happens is, to your point, all of the expenses, now you may be able to write them off, but you may just incur, depending on the business or the hustle that you take, you may incur more expenses. God forbid you get in an accident doing door dashing. I'm not saying don't do it. I am saying though, we don't. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it, right? So I'm not totally against hustle. I just don't like the word hustle, because my Bible says God gives us rest. I ain't hustling and grinding, right? So that's that. But what I will add to the point of, stop going to McDonald's. In context, let's do an experiment. Here's your homework assignment. If you are a DoorDasher user or Uber eater, go and look at your account and add up how much you have spent over, let's just do the past month, and let's see how much that tallies. Now if you have children or if you're on the go, easily, sometimes our accounts are like $2,000, and that's just in DoorDash. Like, you know, so if we're talking about getting on the other side, you want to reduce your expenses and increase your income, right? And the other thing that I said, which is a commonly used thing, these subscriptions. How many of us have signed up for How many of us have signed up for a subscription? It could be, one of those streaming platforms. It could be Netflix. It could be, just whatever, magazines. You ain't read the magazine since you said you was going to sign up for the magazine. So go do an inventory. And oftentimes, we've been there where it says, you'll have this trial, sign up, for this trial period. And how many of us or have been in a place where we forgot to go back and take that credit card off or cancel the trial? And so if you're not following the money, you don't even know that you're still paying, right? And you're wondering, where is this, why do I seem to be in the red a lot? So just to add to what Brianna said, we want to decrease our expenses and increase our income. Or we want to increase our income so that if you have expenses that you enjoy or that you need, you're still able to pay for those, and it's sweatless. Okay. All right, I think we have one last question, and then we hope to see you guys on Tuesday, where you can learn how to make 30K in 30 days.
Hey,
listen, and this is
I'll
not
be
a
there.
rich quick scheme. This is the way people live. Look, here's another testimony. When I made my first 30,000 in a wholesale deal, just a wholesale deal, that's a strategy in real estate investing. I was like, what do I do now? Now, mind you, I intentionally did wholesaling because I was building a house from the ground up in Delaware, and I wanted to make sure that the PMI didn't get to us, which is the private mortgage insurance, because I don't believe in paying nothing 3 times over. Right. And so I knew I wanted to make $150,000 by the time I went to settlement. And when I got that check, I was like, oh, this is how we do it, right? And so that is a thing, right? And it's a reoccurring thing that can take place. So we're going to show you at this free masterclass how to make 30K in 30 days and do it over and over and over again. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Jesus wasn't broke. Okay, let's see. I see another question. Hi, Holly Jefferson. Thank you for commenting.
That's my auntie. Yeah, that's my auntie. Hey, Aunt Holly.
Hi, Aunt Holly. I don't know. Okay, so what's the next question? And
the next question, Miss J Kitchen. Why do people struggle and not get help? Ooh.
Brianna,
ooh. That's a good question.
That is a really good question.
That's a good question. I think that if you are around an environment around, people or things that are okay and have normalized the struggle, then you don't necessarily know that there is a problem. I mean, we listen to rap songs and trap music and things like that where the struggle is glorified. So we don't necessarily, I think a lot of people don't know that they have a problem, or a lot of people complain about it, or a lot of people are generationally in poverty and just don't know any better. And poverty doesn't necessarily have to be the lack of money. It could be just the lack of initiative. Like, you just don't want to do anything. I don't want to use the term lazy, but some people just don't feel like executing or getting to the next level because it takes work, it takes time, it takes dedication. You may have to do some things that are uncomfortable, like some things that you haven't seen anybody else do in your family, like maybe read a book or go to school, or and there's avenues and things that can help you, but a lot of people don't seek these things out, and I think that society plays a bit of a role in it too, because college is pushed in this society, where you can really go to a trade school, become like an HVAC person or like an electrician or a plumber, but those professions were looked down on. But those professions make over 6 figures, especially in this market right here, where everybody needs somebody who can fix something. So I think it's a mix of society mixed with generational poverty, a lack of knowledge. These things are not taught in schools, how to become financially free. we are taught to, I mean, just look at the institution of school. You go to school, you got to be there at 8 o'clock. You get a 30-minute lunch break. Then you right back in class. You can't talk. You can't really be creative. Those kids are called talkative, or, they're called disruptive. And that is why, that's one of the reasons why A students usually work for C students, because A students, yeah, they're going to sit there and they're going to conform. And I was an A student. Thank you very much. However, I'm a reformed A student, but they kind of go along with the norms. But the C students, they're gonna ask why. They're gonna question these things. And often I feel like you get ostracized for it. Also, we all know somebody who was in high school who used to come to school and sell candy. And I know those people used to get made fun of sometimes, but that was entrepreneurship in rare form. So a lot of times it's just not something that people understand. I know when I was gonna leave nursing, people just like didn't understand why. They're like, the main question they had was, well, what are you gonna do about health insurance? Or what are you gonna do about retirement? Or what? And I'm just like, I won't be making so much money.
Come on here.
I'm not gonna have to worry about any of those things. I remember I was telling them I was buying a lab. They thought I was talking about a dog. Like, that's literally the mindset. They're like, "Oh, you're getting a new dog." I'm like, "No, I mean, like, the concept is not there." But not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody should be an entrepreneur, because we do need these jobs to, normal jobs, customer service representatives, environmental services, hospital workers. All of these things work to make this world go around. But I do think that, like you said, one stream of income is too close to none. So that's why I think people struggle to not get help. Oh, like Amy Q RN said, mindset. Definitely. The hardest thing to change is your mindset. Like, once you change that, and once you actually realize that you have the potential in you already inside of you, you can make your dreams come true. That's what I did. I read a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and he was talking about the rat race. I didn't even know I was in a rat race. I'm like, yeah, I'm a nurse. Like, I got my own apartment. I can pay my rent. I got 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Like, I'm living in a kind of a gated type of community. Like, I'm feeling good, but I'm still living paycheck to paycheck, and I'm having $800 left over at the end of my check every month. And then I'm going straight to Ross. I'm going to JCPenney's. I'm going to run up a check. I'm going out. I'm having, I'm having fun. I didn't have any discipline around money. So yeah, that's mic drop. That's what I got.
No, listen, you could have kept going. I mean, you said a lot of key things, which is, who you're around, what are you doing? I mean, it was good. I mean, and so, I said I wasn't going to add anything, so I was trying to let you keep have at it. But one of the things I would say is, people don't raise their hands high enough. They don't get in communities or environments or rooms that will help, and let's be clear, sometimes, I remember when I told my brother that, one of my brothers, that I was going to therapy, and that I was going to let people know that I had a therapist. He was like, why are you, we don't do that. No, we do that. We need to do that, right? In fact, the one therapist I had, I was willing to pay her to be a traveling therapist. And so, a part of this is, to be able to pay for a quality life, you need to have more. And when you say, about the environmental service jobs, that's great for people who have a passion. But oftentimes people are doing jobs they don't have a passion for. And so it's like, okay, and we see it exhibited in some of their behaviors. It's just another job. So, but if you do it, have your own, right? So if that job decides to go belly up, then what? What's your fallback plan?
Holly said you don't know where to get help. That's true too. Because I know when I was trying to build up, my mindset and my wealth and things like that, I didn't know who to go to. There wasn't many people in my circle who knew about these things. So that's when I went to books and podcasts and things like that. So guys, I guess I'm wondering what some actionable items are to get help. But I mean, that's the only thing that I did. I got, honestly, what I did was I got a better paying job. I wasn't making enough money. So like I had to kind of get uncomfortable and get a better paying job. I know everybody is not able to do that in the profession that they're doing, but
Well, here's what I'm gonna say to that. It used to be there was a day and time and an age where we didn't have access to various helps, right? You can Google just about anything. You can say in your layman terms, I need more money, or I don't have enough money, and something is going to come up, right? But I love what you said about mindset. And I say mindset is, what is your mind set on? If your mind is set on changing whatever it is you need changed in your life, you're going to find it. You're going to find the change, right? And that means sometimes networking with other people. And so the question was, well, what does it look like in an actual way? Get in rooms like this. You
mm-hmm.
know, I mean, and here's the thing, the reason why mindset needs to change, because everything is, free.com, everything is not free, right? But if you have an opportunity to tap into something free, take it, run with it, and or, my coach used to tell me, when you'll get to a place if you're not there where you prioritize coaching, because what it's designed to do is collapse time. We just saw it. We just saw that in work in action. Um, Let me just tell my dad. I'm gonna call him back.
Hi,
Hey
Dad.
dad. Hey dad. I'm on a live. Can I call you back? All right, love you. I'll call you as soon as I'm done. Okay, bye bye. I had to answer because he called last night around this time and I didn't answer. And then if I stop, don't answer, he going,
It's
you
gonna be
know.
a problem.
Yeah. But what was I saying? Oh, and so, coaching is important, or getting in or paying for something. I used to give things away, everything free. I mean, everything. And what was happening was people would sign up and they wouldn't come, or they would sign up, they wouldn't show up. Right. And I went to my coach like, yo, because that's my heart. I have a income stream that just allows me to do things in a benevolent way. Right. Hence what Rihanna mentioned was the nonprofit. But what she said, which is true, where there's no the demand, there's no supply. And oftentimes people don't value free because they didn't have to put any skin in the game. That's why even with investing, you have to start the project. They'll give you 100% of the construction funds, the construction budget, but you got to start it, and then you go by this process of drawing the money to get your money back. Why? Because they want to make sure you got skin in this game. Right. And so it's different. And we say it all the time, you probably said it as a parent, your kids don't treat stuff, they treat it differently if they had to work hard for it, right? Or if they had to pay for it, when they don't have to pay for nothing, they just, wasteful, right? And so that's where mindset comes in. And maybe you don't pay the high tier, but you look at places where you may have to pay because of the value. That's the difference between a poor mindset and a wealthy mindset. Poor people look at cost, wealthy people look at value. What is this? How is this going to be a value to my life? And if you can walk into a space and they can collapse time for you, where you may not have to study as many books, you may not have to take as many exams, may not have to make as many connections, then that is worth it, right? So I agree that you may not know, but you have to kind of look at what's around you and who's around you to ask a question, right? And don't be afraid to raise your hand and say, hey, I need help. Right. Sometimes I think I mentioned this, is that people don't raise their hands high enough or early enough. And I know culturally there's a lot tied to this. This is why we put emphasis on mindset shifting. You know, sometimes we've been told, well, I know I grew up in a house, what goes on in the house stays in the house, right? And so I kind of carried that into my adult life, but that's kind of corny, right? Because now I'm a very private person. You ain't gonna see my kids, my family plastered all over anywhere. You ain't gonna know where I'm at, when I'm there. You might know I was there 2 days ago. That's but to say what's in the house, especially, it causes people to suffer in silence. Like, especially when people are struggling, it can really cause you to suffer in silence unnecessary. So my answer to that is raise your hand. Tap into people who that have made strides in the place that you want to go. One of the things I teach my clients is you don't get around in circles. We don't look down on anybody. We love them. We're around them. But if I want to be a great basketball player, I'm not going to spend most of my time around people who don't like basketball. How then am I going to be a great basketball player if I'm spending most of my time around people who don't even like basketball, right? Brianna, I think you said something over the weekend about that saying about the degrees of separation between the people in your circle. What did you say? And I said, "Oh, that's good." I hear it all the time that you're the total sum of the six.
Oh, I said if you around 9 broke people, you could be the 10th. So you said it a lot more eloquently than I said. But yeah, I think you are the sum of the total people that you're around, because if you're around people and they not really on the same type of time that you on, or they only want to go out and party or spend money, or that kind of takes you off of your rocker as well. So like I said, like iron sharpens iron. I think that you said that as well. Because at the end of the day, we was born alone, we gonna die alone. We gotta set these goals for ourselves. And once you start, like I think I said, like once you start to vibrate at a higher level, you will start to attract that same frequency. And the thing with that is a product. The product of that is what we have going on right here. Like I didn't know you before this. You didn't know me before this. We were connected by a person who saw something in me and knew you, who decided to put us together and just to see how it would work. So I think that once you do start to vibrate at that higher level, you start to attract that same energy, and it's always a blessing to be able to look around you and see, like, wow, I really am around people who are elevating higher than me. And I think I said too, like, you need to surround yourself around people whose realities are your dreams. I don't ever want to be the smartest I don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room. Like I want to be able to learn and ask questions. I was telling somebody the other day, like when I'm on my podcast, I'm an intern. Like I interview superheroes. I interview people who I want to be, like attorneys, doctors, real estate investors, general contractors, business owners, nonprofit owners, people like that. Because that's who I want to be. And I don't really know how to get there, but everybody want like free promo. So that's another way to kind of be around people, is to provide them a service, right? Like you have to be willing to be, I guess, in more of a, I don't know what word to use, I guess a submissive type of role to some people, to say like, hey, how can I be of service to you, instead of saying, hey, let me pick your brain for 30 minutes, or hey, let me sit on the phone with you for an hour and just like talk to you about what I got going on. No, like you have to be I don't know, I guess like equally yoked with these people, even if you're not
No,
equally yoked. But
or let me help you out.
uh-huh.
It's called value proposition, right?
Mm, yeah.
We should be of value to each other,
Yeah.
right? I teach my kids friendships should not be burdens; they should be bridges, right? And that's exactly what it is.
Hmm.
And because picking somebody's brain, think about if everyone was allowed, and people say, let me just take you for coffee to pick your brain. Let me just go here to let me just see what's on your mind. think about that. If a person did that for everybody,
yeah,
when would they get something done? Or when would they they would be spending all their time just having their brain picked now. Now, if you are in a place financially where you can do that, right? And so on certain days I have pro bono hours, right? Because I plan for that. So to your point, it's value propositioning. It's a value add. You're adding, to somebody else's life. I remember a title company that I was doing a lot of business with. And for me, this was a part of my retirement plan. So this is a flex for somebody or an idea for someone. I wanted to learn the title and closing process a little bit more. I wanted to think about if I was going to add it as another stream of income. I mean, I was at that time, I was a detective. I had very little time, but I asked the person, how can I help you in your business? It could just, it was, and for her, it was inputting, the, and I'm trying not to use a lot of jargon, but a part of the title process is you have to get a clear title. Clear title involves making sure that there's no debt owed by the municipality. So like you don't have no outstanding water bills, there's nothing, there's no gas bills owed. And so the title company, in order to clear or if you were buying a home, I'm talking about from an investor standpoint, but you're buying a home and you might have had clear to close. You might have heard that term. You're clear to close. That part of that process is that the title is clear. There's nothing on that title that is going to be indebted to the new property owner. And so this particular thing that I ended up helping her do was sending a message to the water department to ask if there's any outstanding bills on, these properties. Now I didn't have time doing that. I mean, I was barely awake, but I wanted to learn more about the process because now, as an investor, we try to increase our bottom line versus decreasing our bottom line. So if there's any way I could work around that, I'm strategic in that way. That's the way the Lord has gifted me. And so I wanted to learn so that maybe I can cut out the middle woman or man. Right. And this person was a new business owner. She did really good business and she needed help. And so I had questions. It allowed me to be with her while we're working, generated more questions. I became more knowledgeable. Now I add another skill set, right? So there are so many benefits to when allowing yourself to be of service to somebody else and not just feel like, I'm just going to pimp somebody out. I hope I can say that on YouTube, but you ain't gonna just be pimping nobody out, right? For their services, you want to be a value add to them, and in the end, it blesses you as well. Okay, do you want to add a little bit more to that? If not, we can look at the chat, make sure there are no additional questions. There is a link in the chat so that we can give you some more plays on how to. So Aunt Holly, if you want to know the how-tos and what's possible and, how you can, increase your income, your revenue streams, Tuesday. And if you know anybody else who need to be there, Tuesday, the link is in the chat so that we can get you signed up and send you the information that you need to be available on Tuesday. It's the free masterclass on 30K in 30 days. It's 7 p.m. and it's on this coming Tuesday.
Yep. Oh, is the link in the chat? Somebody said the link is not in the chat. Shout out to Amy. Amy said, I've been stuck and will soon be unstuck. I feel it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, you will.
That's right, Amy.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay with us, sis. I promise you. You stuck today, but you won't be stuck tomorrow. That sounds like a campaign slogan.
That's a word.
I need to go and so I'm seeing it. It's in there. It's under Built to Last. It's right under the comment where Amy says mindset. Commented mindset.
Oh, I don't see it either. I can
Let me see. You know what I'm gonna do?
hmm.
I'm gonna send it to you. And then you know how to put it in the chat. Oh, wait,
Yeah, I
I
can just
know how to do it, put it in the chat.
message everybody with it.
Yeah, and so listen, you know, and my girlfriends, I have a group called Business Women Pray, and we say girlfriends and business owners don't let their girlfriends or their business owner women build alone. So you know, you and I know people who need to you know, mindset change, habits, a shift in their habits, need to bring in additional income. And so if somebody is struggling, you know, or somebody, you know, is not doing well under inflation and recession, they need to be there, right? Because this is not the first recession. This is not the first time we experienced inflation. So we want to get people recession proof and inflation ready. You know, you don't want to go into another quarter if you're a business owner struggling. That's not what business is about. We get into business to be profitable. So we want to help you do that. You don't want to go into the next year. Maybe want, you know, have family members who are sick and, you know, they need special medicines, or, you know, if only they could get to a certain type of doctor. And you said, heck, if only I had it. All right, well, let's change that. You know, now I'm gonna veer off a little bit, but one of the things that is bothersome to me, that in this day and time, as Black folks and as, you know, women, we still have to fight for voting rights. How is that even a thing, right? Now I have my take on that, but we want to start changing and impacting systems where we can. I just sent it to you, Brie.
Okay.
You know, we want to be able to start, you know, affecting change in the areas that's going to help us the most. You know, people are in areas that they don't really want to live in. You know, what if you could be the person that helps somebody do that? What if you can establish your own banking system? That's what the Rockefellers did, and that's what the Jews do. They established their own family banking systems. Well, we figured it out, or we set our minds to know it, and we want to share it with as many people as we can, so that we're not dependent on all of these other systems to provide what we need and what we have the ability to make sure we have. Amen, y'all.
Amen. Where'd you send it? I don't see it in the chat.
Okay, let me try to do this on my own, y'all.
Did you send it to my cell phone?
I send it to yourself. Now, I may not know how to do all this tech stuff, but I know how to build a house. That's my specialty.
Period. Period.
Do y'all see it? So I think, do y'all see it? I just tried to post something. Is it showing? I don't know. YouTube won't let us be great, but Bree, you try it. Did you get it? Let me try
Yeah,
to.
I haven't gotten it to my cell phone yet.
Wait, you know you got like 25 cell phones. Let me send it. So
I'm looking at both of them.
wait a minute.
This
We're
is
gonna
just
make sure y'all get that, because we really do. And if you felt like this, you know, this live really
yeah. This
you in
was
a different way, if it empowered you in a different way, share it out, y'all.
mhm.
Sharing is caring. You know, that's one thing I don't think we do enough of, is you know, we be acting all possessive around information. But the
Mhm.
more we empower and we equip and educate others, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this, the less we gotta have them at our doors like this.
Yep.
Right? We would decrease the amount of people who have their hand out or people we just, like tag. I wish they had a better way. Had a better way for them. Give them a better way. Put them in a better position. And then listen, I'm going to say this. Put your children, they need to be in this class. Our family members our family meetings are Bible studies and Monopoly, right? Because I want them to know at an early age, we ain't struggling. I didn't take a vacation day because my dad told me that they was going to get rid of me if I took a vacation day. So that's what he experienced in the 40s and the 30s and the 50s. Seasons change, and we want to change. We want to be able to change the seasons for our family. So children need to be here. Make sure they tap in early. How many times you said, "Dang, if I only had known this earlier, or if I've only done this a little bit earlier." Well, one, we're gonna collapse the time for you, but two, give your children, your nieces, your nephews an opportunity to start sooner than later. Okay.
Yeah, and Amy said she had a good idea. Put in the link in description after the live is over. And it looks like a few people subscribe to you, so they'll be able to see it. And I can send it to whoever else needs it.
That's really weird.
Yeah, so we can.
Wait, is Heather? But who is Miss J Kitchen? Hi, Miss J Kitchen.
That's my friend. That's my coworker, CJ.
Okay. Hi, CJ. Can you give it to CJ? Do you have CJ's phone number?
Yeah, I can give it to CJ.
Because I really y'all want to see if it's going to post. Can you give it to her now?
I don't have I don't have it yet.
You don't have her phone number? Okay.
No, you didn't. I don't have the link from you yet. I didn't. It's not in my phone. Oh, did you send it to my email or my?
Your phone. I sent it to your two phones that I have for you.
I don't have nothing. Look, I don't have nothing from you.
YouTube won't let us be great. These phones won't let us be great. Let me see. Is Heather on here?
Yeah, Heather been on here the whole time.
Okay, let me all right, I'm gonna send it to you in email, y'all, because that ain't right.
That ain't right. That's not right.
No, that's not right. I'm sending it to you right now, Brianna. And I'm sending it to your. Let me see. While we're doing this, you all, I promise you we're gonna wrap up, or we're wrapped up. But do you have any other questions? Anything? Real estate investing, retirement, law enforcement, politics, family. I love jet skiing.
Well, hey, we gotta get to the jet skis. We ain't there yet.
Oh, you like jet skiing too?
I ain't never been jet skiing before.
Oh,
you gotta. I've never. Heather looking at me like I'm crazy. You been jet skiing? I've never been jet skiing.
I've never been on that water, girl.
You a different person, huh?
You're a different person.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother world. And I want to drop this because a part of this, all that we do is a comprehensive approach to all of this. Grounding. I just started grounding again, and it's amazing. It really helps settle your mind. If you struggle with anxiety, grounding is a good technique, a tool for you. And it's simply, just leveling yourself, putting your feet on the ground. For me, I take my shoes off and go stand in the grass. I'll do it in the sand. I'll do it by water. Those are all things that can help you if you're experiencing, and again, in this political, economic climate, if you're anxious, those are some modalities that can really help you out. Another thing that someone just recently told me is getting in a shower, even if you're not dirty, because water has some kind of property or component that can help give you mental clarity. So those are things that can help you breathe, take some deep breaths throughout the day, stay in a level of consciousness and awareness. Those are things that can help you. Did you all get it?
Yes, we got the link. We are actively working to try to put it on YouTube, but as soon as I tried to put it on there, it wouldn't let me send it. So we may have to put it. You may have to put it in the description, but I'm gonna send it to. Um. Oh wait, did you do it? You
Yeah,
got it.
you can, and for those who follow
It
me
didn't work.
on,
Okay.
okay, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm Terry Taylor, Terry Brown Taylor on Facebook. I'm Built to Last Solutions on Facebook. On Instagram, I'm Built to Last Solutions. Our website is built to BUILTO hyphen last.com.
Heather got it in there some type of way. She got the link in there. I don't know how she did it, but she put it in there.
Heather for the win.
Hey.
Okay, if there is no other questions, I always enjoy time, that we get to spend with folks, and prayerfully we have stirred you up in a different way. Make
Mm-hmm.
sure you're there on Tuesday. Um, if you know somebody who's a business owner and they need marketing and advertising and video services, Brianna, where can they find you?
Well, y'all know my name is Brianna Moore, and I'm your host of the Conversations on Earth podcast. We are live on iHeart, Spotify, Apple, and Podbean, and we just got featured on Amazon Music. You can follow me on Instagram at More Investing, at MOOREINVESTING _ That's Instagram. Same thing for TikTok. On Facebook, I am Brianna Moore. Follow me, like, and subscribe to the show. Definitely follow Miss Terry. She is a wealth of knowledge and a big ball of inspiration and fun. So yeah, that's me. And thank y'all for coming on. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all.
Okay, wait. Did you get that intake form that I mentioned to you? We don't have that for the link.
What intake form? Wait,
Okay.
intake form?
All right. Ma'am. Okay, guys, it's been a pleasure. I need to go back and
I'm gonna
stage and
I'm gonna
talk
talk
to
to your assistant about that. I'm gonna talk to your assistant. I'm sure it's in one of these emails that one of your assistants sent me, but I
All
will
right.
handle it.
All right, listen, God bless y'all. Don't
God
forget,
bless you.
do whatever you need to do to increase in impact, influence, and income. Let's go. See you on Tuesday, September the 3rd at 7 p.m. Don't meet me there, beat me there.
Mm,
Bye.
bye.